Welcome to the GW Insider, the place for inspirational and intriguing stories about overcoming life's obstacles. The GW Insider is brought to you by the good folks at GW Micro, a trusted pioneer in adaptive technology since 1990. Get ready to be motivated, be moved, and be inspired. And now, here's your GW Insider host.
Welcome to another GW Insider interview. This is your host, Mark Solomon, and I am pleased to introduce today's guest, Boona Dahal. Boona, welcome to GW Insider, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Mark, it's my honor. Thank you for your invitation. I am looking forward to the interview, and I hope the listeners are as excited.
Well, I consider myself very lucky because I have had the opportunity to meet Boona in person and to hear her speak about her life story and experiences. And I am pleased to be able to have Boona speak to the listening audience to present her story because it's truly inspirational. So to get started, Boona, did you lose your sight at birth or later in life?
At birth. I have been blind since birth.
Was it difficult being blind as a child where you grew up?
No, difficult is about how we take it. Yeah, can say difficult, but if I had said difficult, life would have been difficult. But being blind all my life, in some ways, I don't know the different way because this is my life and I'm used to it. I have adapted it. Yeah, there are times, don't I wish 2 o'clock in the morning I can flip a page and be able to read it, the print page on my own, especially during the days before when we didn't have all this advanced technology. Yeah, there are times I wish I could see, but to be honest with you, Mark, this is my life, and I don't know any different. I'm comfortable, I'm used to it, and every day I'm making different, either for myself or for someone else. You know, many times I am asked this question by reporters. My best answer, and it's the truth, every morning when I wake up, I don't think about, oh, I'm blind, or feel sorry for myself. Or really, what I think about it, I wish I could sleep in for 5 more minutes.
Well, you mentioned making a difference in other people's lives. And obviously you're now living in America and doing some really amazing things. But I understand that you had quite a journey to reach the point in your life where you are now. So I was hoping that you could share with the audience a little bit about your story and how you came to America.
Sure. I came to the United States 21 years ago, and I'm still here, and I have no plan to go back. I definitely go back to visit my family, but America is home, and in America, I live in Colorado. I came to the U.S. as an international student. As an international student, we not only have to maintain our visas, but also we pay in school 4 times more than regular students or students with permanent residency status or citizens. So I had to figure out all those pieces of the puzzle in my life.
Before we talk more about your educational experience, could you talk a bit about where you were born and what it was like growing up where you lived being blind?
Sure. I was born and raised in Nepal. I left Nepal when I was 18 years old, but until then, I lived in Nepal as a blind person, also as a blind woman. Nepal is a developing country, in the third world developing country. So obviously, we didn't have all the advanced technology or opportunities like we have in Western world, especially in America. And I know even in America, probably 21 years ago, we were not as advanced as we are today in terms of accessibility and dealing with people with disabilities. The same misconceptions what we face in this country, those are faced in a country like Nepal too. But the difference is here we have a movement of people with disabilities and blind people. Back home, especially when I was growing up, nothing existed like that. I have always been a firm believer in myself. The minute someone told me I couldn't do something, I would turn around and do it because I knew deep down in my heart, once I put my mind and heart into it, I will achieve no matter what. I consider myself lucky too. My family, I'm very grateful to them. As soon as it was diagnosed that I will be blind all my life, my family didn't treat me differently. Especially my mom and dad. They knew in a way they have to expect even more from me than less because I had to struggle much more and fight in the world to make my way in. So they believed in me. They gave me opportunities. One of the opportunities they ensured in me was good education, access to good education. They expected high from me in school. There was no choice of coming home with B's or C's. A or nothing else. So I knew from the get-go, I better excel in school, and I'm very grateful for that. Because of excellent academic achievements, opportunity to come to the United States brought upon me. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that. I got a scholarship to study in America because of my excellent academic achievements. So my family, did they know everything about blind people or people with disabilities? No. But one thing they knew, they had to expect more with their blind child and give her the equal opportunity, and she will rise. And I have.
That is incredible to hear. And you mentioned that you were awarded a scholarship and the opportunity to come to America to study. And I can imagine that was an extremely competitive scholarship and was very difficult to obtain.
Yes.
So I'm curious, what type of benchmarks or what type of challenges did you have to overcome to obtain that scholarship? Obviously, I'm guessing that English was something that you had to learn, and I'm kind of curious about if you were able to learn English and Braille skills and what you were able to learn before you were awarded the scholarship. Obviously, those skills would be essential to obtain the scholarship and making it to America.
The program is called Overbrook School for the Blind International Program. They are blind students from different parts of the world were awarded to study there at that program on scholarships. The year 1990-1991, there were students from 16 different countries, just from Nepal. Total of 18 blind students had applied for one scholarship. Out of those 18 Nepalese blind students, I was the only one who was selected. So, right there, it says how competitive it was, doesn't it, Mark? And the purpose of the program was to teach international blind students English as a second language, or else it's known as ESL, and computer technology for the blind. I knew Nepalese Braille, but I did not know English. So when during the interview, the interviewer or the director of the program had already received my application and all the information, and we communicated as best as we could. But but she had already, had all my information through the application. One of the things I took to the interview is, since I couldn't communicate well in English, I took my profile, all the things I had done in Nepal, but obviously it wasn't in writing, it was in pictures. I took my photo album so I could show it to her, so I could communicate that I am the best candidate for that scholarship. I don't know how much that helped Mark, but I'm sure it made an impression on the director.
Well, Boona, I think you make a deep impression in every person that you meet. And I wanted to know, once you were awarded the scholarship and given the opportunity to come to America to study, could you talk a little bit about your options as far as where you were to study and a little bit about your experiences in higher education here in the United States?
Sure. Once I was awarded the scholarship, I was thrilled. People said, "Are you sure you really want to go?" Even they said to my mom, "How could you let your blind daughter go?" My mom said, "This is a great opportunity for her. I have to let her go so she can spread her wings. I can keep her now, but later, I know, even though I love my daughter, but she will become a burden to me, and I never want to put her in that situation." But also my mom and dad, they knew they couldn't stop this child. They knew from very beginning this child is going somewhere, because I have always been a very focused, goal-oriented person, and as you know, Mike, I'm driven. Yes, I'm sorry. I think I said your name wrong. It's Mark, not Mike. But no, I have a goal, and I'm going. It may take me several times, but until I achieve them, I am determined to achieve them. On the way, I may have to take different routes. So I was so thrilled. I also knew it was only one chance in my life. Not only I was coming to the U.S. to study for 1 year, I told my family, please don't expect Boona coming back home to Nepal in a year. By the time I come to the U.S., by the time I come to Nepal, I will be established in America. And that's what happened, Mark. By the time I went back to Nepal to visit my family, since I came to the U.S., it was 16 years. In fact, I came.
You made a promise and you kept it.
I did. I came to U.S. September 14 of 1990. That's the first time ever I stepped on the American soil. And I went to Nepal to visit my family in 16 years. It was November 24th of 2006. That's the day I left. And maybe 24th, 25th, I can't remember exact date right now. But I know it's that the day after Thanksgiving in 2006. I remember that very, very well. And I'm positive it's November 24th. That's the day I flew to go to Nepal. And by the time I saw my family in Nepal, it had been 16 years. When I went back, I already had obtained my permanent residency, or also it's called green card. I had already, finished my undergraduate, had become a homeowner, and was working full time. I had already become a taxpayer to the U.S. government. I think that's the best way to put it together, Mark. Because, coming here as an international student, and with every strive and steps to be able to say, now I am 100% taxpayer to the U.S. government. It may not mean anything to U.S. citizens, but as a foreign, as an alien resident, that that means volume to me.
Because I can certainly understand that.
It's about, giving back, because people of this country have believed in me and they have given to me. Now, to be able to give back to this country, to this society, and helping someone else, this is how we make the society better. This is how we make the country better place and a bigger place. So when I finished my 1 year training there, as we have been talking about, I did not know any English. I used to be terrified to speak, especially to talk on the phone, Mark.
You'd never know it now.
Thank you, Mark. And that's what I say. Today, I make my living by speaking, whether it's on the phone or in public, So life is an irony, but it's really, life is about what we make of. So when one of the memories I will never forget, Mark, among many other things, and I know I had shared this experience at my different presentations. I had never been into a swimming pool in my life. Growing up in a culture where it's very closed society, especially for women, on top of that, blind woman, it's out of imagination, women wearing bathing suits and swimming in the pool. So in my school at Overbrook, swimming was a required course. And obviously I learned how to put a bathing suit on, and I was in the pool. My swimming instructor asked me to kick. I didn't understand. I thought he said to kiss. I would stand there and not respond and say, there's no way I'm going to do anything here. And then he would touch my feet and teach me how to kick. Still, I didn't understand. Oh, he really meant by to kick. But by the time I realized what he meant, it was again, I was on a Thanksgiving break. That was the very first Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And that morning, it dawned on me, oh, my swimming instructor, he's asking me to kick my feet but not to kiss. Oh, Mark, I am so grateful the light bulb went on and I understood. But also imagine the embarrassment I felt. And all I could say is, thank you, God. I did not do what I thought he said. And I never shared that story with my swimming instructor. But now it makes it more fun to talk about it, because that's how I grasp the English language. If I had said continuously, I can't understand, and not even give any thoughts about it, probably it would have taken me longer. But when I didn't understand him, it was in my mind. What is he saying? Why is he asking me to kiss? Why is it? I was working with it in my quiet heart, quiet mind. And when when the process completed, it came to me. The real answer is this. And this is how today I learn every day, whether it's the English language or working with people or sharing, making that impact on someone else. Because so many people have made an influence and impact on me. And life is all about learning, sharing, and growing. Another experience, Mike, I ate chicken and eggs so many days of the week throughout that year, because we ate meals in the cafeteria. And, obviously in our cuisine here in America, we eat a lot of meat. The culture I grew up in Nepal, we eat a lot of vegetables. Well, meat is probably once a week thing, and it's a treat. By the time I finished my school at the Overbrook School for the Blind International Program, I didn't want to look at chicken and eggs again. I was so tired of it. And to be honest with you, I didn't, as much as possible, I avoided eating chicken and eggs for the next full year because I had it enough. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand that, absolutely.
So, but, again, it's all about learning, being open to the idea, experiencing, and say, hey, there is something greater for me. Let me go find out. I finished my school in Philadelphia at the Overbrook School for the Blind. Then I have my uncle and aunt. At that time, they used to live in Chicago, so they invited me to be with them, and I went there. That's where I did my undergraduate. Again, as an international student, I had to find my ways. One thing I knew, that education is a ticket to success. As I excel in education and in the English language, I will find ways to support myself for my school. And I did. I applied for different scholarships. I got them. And definitely having a family who believed in me, my uncle and aunt, it was a huge help. One of the ways I learned English, Mark, was I'm sure many of our listeners know who Peter Jennings is, the ABC World News, Mark. I'm sure you are familiar with.
The famous news broadcaster, yes.
Exactly. My uncle said, if you really want to learn English and the way American speaks, watch this news. That was at home at my uncle and aunt's house. In a way, it was our family, family tradition. But I watch that news every day when I can, and started listening to Peter Jennings, how he pronounces. Yes, I know. Today, I still don't pronounce like Native Americans or all of you do, Mark. I know I do pretty well. So I would listen the news and watch the news and listen to Peter Jennings or different reporters, how they pronounce, and then start practicing those words, how the Americans pronounce it. I give an example. Today, my friends tease me, the word fudge, F-U-D-G-E. Whenever I'm just talking away. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yummy. Yes. Still, when I'm talking away, I don't pronounce it. It doesn't come out right. So I learned to spell it. When people don't understand certain words, I spell those words out so that way they can understand it. That's how I learned English language. And then obviously there are many other ways, but still these skills, what I have implemented to learn the English language, I still use them. I read a lot. I'm an avid reader. But obviously, being a blind person, we all know we don't have a lot of books in Braille. So we read through audio. When I hear a new word, I want to learn how to spell it. And also I want to learn in what context I use it. So I can continuously increase my vocabulary and be effective at it. Does that mean I never make mistakes? Absolutely. I make tons of mistakes. And I know there are times I use those words in a wrong context, and my friends laugh at me. Then I say, what happened? What did I do? And then they teach me. Then I know next time I shouldn't say it that way. Mark, it's so funny. I never knew the expression of I will be there with the bells on.
That doesn't make logically a whole lot of sense. I guess the context is very important there.
Exactly. One evening, I was on a three-way call with my two friends, and in fact, I had organized a seminar, a student seminar for the NFB of Illinois, and I said to one of my friends, the female friend, she had just started college, and said, I hope you will come to our seminar. And then she said, I will be there with bells on. I went, huh? And I said, do you have bells? And my other friend, he laughed so hard, Mark. He laughed so hard, and then the two of them, he started laughing so hard. And my other female friend, they also knew each. All three of us knew each other. So both of them started laughing so hard, and I'm going at the other end. Why are they laughing? I'm still curious. Does she have bells? And I said again, do you have bells? And my friend, the male friend, he stopped laughing and then said, he explained what that expression means, that with bells on. I couldn't believe it, Mark.
Oh, there's so many figures of speech in our vernacular that I'm sure there's many of those situations that have come up as you're learning English where you heard something and it certainly didn't make sense the first time you heard it, but once someone explained it, I bet you started using that phrase very soon afterwards and in perfect context.
Absolutely, or I become very cautious to use it, because I have the memory. And in fact, when my friends, we get together, and that's one of the things that we still share. And then he talks about it, but again, not being afraid, being open. And I asked the weirdest question, but if I hadn't asked that question, probably even to this date, I wouldn't have known the meaning of that expression. Don't you think so, Mark?
I think you're exactly right, and I think you're really making a good point that asking questions is a very effective way to learn, and you should always be willing to ask questions, and you should never be afraid to ask questions. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And still today, I'm asking, and I know I will be asking more questions.
Well, I know that you are a lifelong learner, and I'm going to be interested to hear more about what you chose to study in school as well as what you're doing now in your professional career. But before we get into those questions, I would like to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a minute with more GW Insider.
Have you heard the good news? Windowise 7.5 has been released. It has an entirely brand new interface that makes it easier to use than ever before. If you have ever used an electronic manual, then you already know how to use the brand new Windowise interface. Get up to speed quickly by using the all-new Quick Start app. Right after you install Windowise, the Quick Start app will walk you through setting up all of your everyday settings, such as how fast you want Windowise to speak, if you want each character spoken as you type, what Braille display to use if you have one, the type of keyboard layout you are going to use, and even more. Also, don't forget about all of the new, wonderful Windowise apps that come with Windowise 7.5. The iTunes app makes iTunes accessible right out of the box, while the Word Navigation app allows for quick and easy navigation in complex Word documents. Need more apps? Simply open AppGet by pressing Windows key G, and every app on App Central will be right at your fingertips. Windowise 7.5 makes your computing experience more accessible and easier than ever before. Has it been a while since you have upgraded your copy of Windowise? There's no time like now to upgrade. We have capped the prices of upgrades, so whether you are at version 1.0 or version 5.5, you won't pay more than $450 to upgrade. Do you need unparalleled access to Internet Explorer 9, Office 2010, or Windows 7? Upgrade today and begin to harness the power of Windowise 7.5. Call GW Micro today at 260-489-3671. Overcome the obstacles in your life by choosing Windowise.
Welcome back to GW Insider. Let's go ahead and continue our engaging interview with Boona. Boona, I'm sure the audience is interested to learn more about what you studied when you came to America and were in higher education. Could you talk about some of the fields of study and what your interests were in education?
My higher education I have a bachelor in journalism from Columbia College in Chicago, and now I have double masters from Regis University in Denver, Colorado. My double masters are in leadership management and project management. And I don't know what will happen next, but someday I look forward to getting PhD, but let's see what happens.
Well, can you talk a little bit about how you got into those particular fields of study. Was there someone that inspired you to pursue that direction, or were there some jobs or careers that you wanted to pursue and you knew that these educational fields would be a good preparation for those potential jobs in the future?
The reason I went into journalism, I knew no matter what job I would hold, I wanted to be able to communicate well. And any job that we need to be able to communicate through writing and speaking. With the journalism degree, I knew I could do it. And also that would give me a one step forward. I've always been a very self-directed person, and I'm very much interested in leadership, advocacy, marketing, public relations type of work. I felt that with the journalism degree, I could achieve all of those interests and pursue my career continuously. That's why I went into journalism. For my master's, just like anyone else, we're always looking for cutting edge, and what's also interest. But I never wanted to get a degree just to say I have a degree, in such and such. I wanted to have education and degree in the field that I'm passionate about. After working for 8 years, a full-time position, I wanted to do something different, but also something that is very, very close to my heart. I always wanted to work in the leadership field, but also reach out to the bigger, greater world rather than making our world smaller. And I learned about different programs. Obviously, I had different choices, but I decided to go to Regis University because of their experiential learning style, where I could bring projects from the community in the community rather than just studying books and taking tests. And I found out that they have a program in organization leadership. That's why I decided to go into leadership and get that degree. But again, it's not just about to have a degree. It's about fulfilling my dreams. And I knew with that degree, I would always be aligned with my interest and fulfilling my dreams.
Well, being someone who wants to be able to express themselves and with a journalism degree and being a writer, I understand that you have recently wrote a book. Could you tell us a little bit about the book that you just wrote?
Yes. My book was published in March, and the title of my book is Leadership Spirit. It really captures the spirit of leadership. It's not a how-to book. It's more of being a leader. And what is the spirit of being that leader, and how do you capture that spirit? So that's the book about, and it's going very, very well, Mark. In fact, I had several book signing, and now my readers are asking me if I would publish this book in print, because right now the Leadership Spirit is available only on audio, it's CD, but they really are saying, it's great, we enjoy listening to it, but we want to hold this book in our hand. We want to show it to friends and other people and show them the writing. So I am looking into also now publishing the same book in print.
And if people wanted to be able to read the book and be able to access it, where could they find the book that you wrote?
It's available through Amazon. So they can type Leadership Spirit or Boona Dahal or Dynamic Boona. It will come. Or they can go to my website. That's boonadahal.com or dynamicboona.com. Or they can contact me directly, and I'll be more than happy to work with them.
And just to help the audience out, in case you do not know how to spell Boona's name, it's B as in Bravo, U, N, A as in Apple, D as in Delta, A as in Apple, H as in Hotel, A as in Apple, L as in Lima, BunaDahal.com. Well, Buna, you mentioned Dynamic Buna. I have a little bit of knowledge about Dynamic Buna, but I was hoping you could share with the audience what Dynamic Buna is.
Dynamic Buna is a consulting business. My specialties are, I call it LEAD, Leadership, Employment, Accessibility, and Diversity. When we combine those four aspects of our life, whether it's working or personal, that's where the leadership lies. So I primarily do coaching, speaking, and training on leadership development, employment opportunities. In a way, I call it. The leadership area is called noble leadership, and employment is carving out your profession. And how do you combine all those abilities and make yourself a better leader? Not only a better leader, but really be that effective leader and create opportunities not only for yourself, but for others. So we become winners at the end. In that process, it was really my honor. I got to present to the GW Micro VIP reception in San Diego during the CSUN conference. And Mark, again, it was truly my honor, and thank you very much for that opportunity.
We were very lucky to have you to speak at that event, and I was truly inspired by what you said, and obviously you have many ways to spread your message between your book and your consulting business, and you mentioned how important it is to be able to reach out and touch people in their lives. And I was hoping you could share with me and the audience more about the special project you have going on in Nepal.
Yes. Oh, that's so great. I am involved with a nonprofit organization called Blind Core. Blind Core is based here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Our mission is to share best practices of the rehabilitation for the blind in developing nations. We have been to Turkey 3 times in the past. Now we are in the process of taking our project to Nepal, where we can provide training for the blind and visually impaired, and also educators, professionals, and family and friends. As we all know, misconceptions about blindness, it's deep rooted at public at large, but not only that, in blind people themselves. So we are preparing for that project, and hopefully our plan is to go to Nepal this year. Depending on how much money we'll be able to raise and resources, then we'll decide, but definitely we are making every effort to go to Nepal as soon as possible for this project. So any listener who is interested, please feel free to contact us. GW Micro is one of our big sponsors, in a way, one of our primary sponsors. Thank you, Mark, again, and thank you, GW Micro family. They have donated some equipment. I don't know, Mark, is it okay to say what's the equipment or no?
Certainly, Buna.
Okay, and I know you can cut that out. Is that right?
Sure.
Yes, thank you. It's Brelson's Classics, and so we are very, very excited for that donation, and we look forward to continue our work with the GW Micro and many, many other interested organizations and individuals to make this project a reality.
Well, that is very exciting, and of course, on behalf of GW, we wish you and your team the best of luck with that project, and hopefully you'll be able to reach many people and provide lots of benefits. So keep up the great work. And something I did want to ask you, relating back to GW Micro, I'm sure people are curious about your use of WindowWise. I know that you're a WindowWise user, and I'm curious if you could share with us a little bit about how you use WindowWise to accomplish your different computer tasks that you need to accomplish for your work.
Mark, thank you so much for asking me that question. I didn't know if you would or not. I was hoping you would. I love WindowWise. I'm not saying that because Mark is interviewing me from GW Micro. It has nothing to do. I used to be a long-time JAWS user. And again, it's not about against any product, but for me, I love WindowWise. In 2007, I left my previous job, started my own consulting business, and also started graduate school. You can imagine, life changed. And I always said, whenever I needed help in computer, I'm a technology user. I'm not tech savvy. And I don't have no problem of saying that. I needed help. I couldn't get it. And I said, you know what? Also, another thing, as an advocate, especially working in the field of leadership and employment and being an expert in the field of employment for blind, I needed to know both software. Otherwise, how could I do my job right? I said, I'm going to switch. I'm going to learn WindowWise. I know enough about JAWS, but I haven't spent much time on WindowWise. And I switched. That means not only on my work computer, I switched it on my personal computer too. Because I said, if I don't submerge myself into the software, then I'm not doing it right. So I switched, and every time I needed help, what do I call? I call 260-489-3671. In fact, they know me by the technical staff at GW Micro. They know my name by heart. And sometimes I'm afraid they may not answer my phone. They say, oh, that's Poona calling again. But they haven't. They have always answered my questions. And in fact, not only have answered my questions, they have gone above and beyond to help me. And I'm very grateful for that. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm interviewed by GW Micro. It's the quality of WindowWise and then caring, the staff's caring personality that has touched me so much.
Well, we certainly appreciate your personal testimonial, and I've had the pleasure of working with you and supporting your use of WindowWise, and you do a fantastic job, and we're just so pleased to have you as a customer, and hope we'll be able to continue to support you in everything that you do on your computer with WindowWise.
So you know, there will be more, Mark. In fact, I have a list of questions, but probably I shouldn't ask you here. You know?
Well, that's the nature of computers, and we'll be here to support you with those questions, of course.
Thank you. But another thing, Mark, I have found, as I said, being a long-time JAWS user, WindowWise, I have found, again, it's my opinion. If someone doesn't agree with me, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. For me, with WindowWise, it's much more user-friendly. And someone like me who is not a tech guru but loves to use technology, there are fewer steps to remember to make a command work. And I don't know that will make sense to the reader or if it makes sense to you or not, Mark, but that's one of my big kudos to WindowWise. I don't have to remember everything, like 10 different steps to make one thing work. I just have to remember 2 or 3, and I love that.
Well, I definitely think that we at GW appreciate the KISS philosophy, keeping it simple, and we're glad that you appreciate that and have benefited from that philosophy as well. And Poona, what I've learned after working with you and meeting you is that no one says no to Poona. And I was wondering if you could let me know why people never say no to Poona.
Thank you. That's my motto. You know that. And it is. It is the truth. When we believe in doing the right thing, and achieving the right thing, we also need other people who will believe in that philosophy. And also we need them to support our philosophy. We can't do anything alone. Yeah, we may, but it takes time. When we educate others what I'm trying to do or what we are trying to do and it's the right thing to do, but if we don't present it with confidence, why should others build confidence in our project or in our belief? So to me, when I have that confidence and I know how to do it, it is the right thing. Nobody says no to Buna because I know together we will succeed, we will achieve, and we'll teach others how to succeed and how to achieve. That's why it's the truth. Nobody says no to Buna.
Well, Miss Buna Dahal, I just wanted to let you know how much I've enjoyed having the chance to interview today, and I want to thank you again for taking the time to share your inspirational story, your experiences, and your insight with the GW Insider listening audience. I know it will be a benefit, and hopefully people will be inspired and continue to do great work. So I, on behalf of GW Micro, would like to thank you again, and this concludes today's episode of GW Insider, and we look forward to checking back with everyone in a future episode.
Great. It was fun, Mark, and we'll be achieving greater things together. Okay, Mark?
That sounds wonderful. Thanks again, Buna.
You're welcome.
From all of us at GW Micro, thanks for listening to this edition of the GW Insider. You can get archived versions of the GW Insider from www.gwmicro.com/podcast. To contact us, you can call 260-489-3671 between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also send email to support@gwmicro.com. Our website is www.gwmicro.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/GWMicro. Stay tuned for the next edition of the GW Insider.